Hello, I'm sorry to inform you all, but Virtual Salt won't be happening today, so you might just have to turn off
Oi!
your... What are you doing here? You'll never catch me alive! Welcome to Virtual Salt. We're not cancelled. Actually, I have a special announcement. We have something starting up called Kids Church Online, which is kind of like Virtual Salt, except it's made by you guys. So that's really cool. That started up last Sunday, and it's going to come out again this Sunday as well. So don't miss out on Kids Church Online. Next up, we're going to have a look at the drawings for this week. So let's have a look at the first one. The first one is from Kaylee and Crosby Blair. It looks like it's a joint effort on this one. Well done, guys. Smashed it. David and his sheep. Looks like his sheep's got a feather on it. I didn't realise sheep had feathers. Next up, Grace. Grace Brittle and her drawing. Well done, Grace. Then we have Judah Blair. Well done, Judah. You've done a sweet job on yours. Then Elise Brittle. Awesome job, Elise. And then lastly, Summer Blair. Well done, Summer. Smashed it. Alright, thanks guys for your drawings. You've done a sweet job on them. Now, I think it's time for the weather.
Hey Salt, it's me Liam the weatherman, and I'm going to be talking to you about the weather, same as every other week. Today's quite sunny, with a chance of snow. Doesn't really work, does it? But apparently, I said it's going to snow, so it means it will. No, it doesn't. It might snow. 99% chance of snow. Over to you, Tameka.
Hey guys, welcome back to Storytime. Today we're going to be reading a story called The Forgiving Prince. It's about Joseph and his brothers, and it's from Genesis chapter 37 to 46. Jacob had 12 sons, but of all his sons, Joseph was his favourite. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a splendid new robe. It was beautiful and rich with all the colours of the rainbow. But it made Joseph's brothers jealous. They wanted rich rainbow robes too. Then, to make matters worse, Joseph kept on having these special dreams. I dreamt that I was the greatest. I was the king, Joseph told his brothers. And you all bowed down to me. Now, I'm sure you know, even if Joseph didn't, that telling your brothers things like that is not a very good idea. Joseph's brothers hated him even more. They wanted to kill Joseph and his dreams. And one day, that's exactly what they tried to do. They tore Joseph's rainbow robe off him and sold him to slave traders for 20 pieces of silver. And here is a picture of Joseph and his rainbow robe. The traders took Joseph to Egypt and made him into a slave. The brothers went home and lied to their father, telling him that Joseph was dead. That's the end of that, dreamer, they thought. But they were wrong. God had a magnificent dream for Joseph's life, and even when it looked like everything had gone wrong, God would use it all to help make the dream come true. God would use everything that was happening to Joseph to do something good. Meanwhile, though, things were not looking good for Joseph in Egypt. He was far from home and from his dad. Then he got blamed for something that he didn't do, and even though he hadn't done anything wrong, he was punished and thrown in jail. But God was with Joseph. And here we've got Joseph in jail. One night, Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had a scary dream about thin cows gobbling up fat cows. What on earth did it mean? He didn't know. But Joseph was a dream expert, so Pharaoh sent for him. It means a famine is coming, Joseph explained. There won't be enough food. Pharaoh was so pleased by Joseph's skill that he immediately took Joseph out of jail and made him a prince. Now back home, Joseph's brothers had run out of food and everyone was hungry. God's special family was in danger. If they didn't get food soon, they would starve to death. So Joseph's brothers travelled to Egypt to buy food. They came and knelt before the new prince. His brothers didn't know that the prince was Joseph, but Joseph knew who they were. Joseph's dream, the one about his brothers bowing down to him, was coming true. "It's me!" Joseph cried. When they saw it was Joseph, his brothers were afraid. They had wronged Joseph. They had sinned and they knew it. Now Joseph would certainly punish them. But Joseph looked at his brothers and his eyes filled with tears. Even though his brothers had hurt him and hated him and wanted him dead, in spite of everything, he couldn't stop loving them. Here's Joseph as the prince, and you can see the shadows of his brothers. His heart, which they had broken, filled up with love, and Joseph forgave them. Joseph threw his arms around them. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Behind what you were doing, underneath everything that was happening, God was doing something good. God was making everything right again." Joseph didn't punish them. He rescued them. He brought God's special family to live safely with him in Egypt. One day, God would send another prince, a young prince whose heart would break. Like Joseph, he would leave his home and his father. His brothers would hate him and want him dead. He would be sold for pieces of silver. He would be punished even though he had done nothing wrong. But God would use everything that happened to this young prince, even the bad things, to do something good, to forgive the sins of the whole world. The end.
Welcome back, Salty viewers, and get ready for the show I have for you today. I hope you've all been well and are having a very, very, very good week back at school, whether online or in person. As you know, I'm your host, Jules, and today we will be interviewing someone with a very interesting life. He's gone through many challenges and triumphs, from the bottom of the bottom to the top of the top, and he is here with us today. Say hello to our viewers, Joseph.
Hi guys, so excited to be here and to share more about what God did in my life, as you just saw in Tamika's story time about me.
That's great, Joseph. And might I say, what a fabulous coat you have there. Anyway, I will begin. So I understand you and your brothers had some issues. I can relate. I have two myself, but your situation seemed to be a bit more than a little tiff.
Yeah, my brothers and I did not get along. They were a bit jealous, but now that I look back, I actually get it. My dad showed me special favor, like giving me this robe, and God would give me these special dreams, showing me that I was in charge over them. I didn't make these things up, but I probably should have been a bit more smarter about how I spoke to them.
Yeah, well, they did try to sell you off. Can't say my own brothers never thought of that, as I, too, am also my dad's favorite. But mine never actually did. How do you forgive something like that? Especially when you never really did anything bad to them.
Well, God put me in power as Pharaoh's second in charge, just like in my dream. I really could have done whatever I wanted to them, but they were my family, my flesh and blood, and I loved them. Yes, they did wrong, but out of love, I forgave them, and God used what they did for many good things in my life, and he worked it all into his plan.
Wow, your response sounds really similar to something I've heard before, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
You're absolutely right. It is similar. Years and years and years after my lifetime, Jesus came to forgive all of our wrongs that we had done to him, and he was completely innocent. He also did it because he loved us and wanted us to be with him forever and be a part of God's family.
That's so cool. So God used your life to be like a symbol of what was going to happen in the future? One of the biggest moments in history. Geez Louise, that's pretty impressive. I've got to say that this Godfella is one smart cookie. Well, thanks for being with us today, Joseph. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you, as I know my viewers did also. And salty kids, be safe, be good, send in your artworks, and we will be back next week with some more salty news.
That's all we have for Virtual Salt this week. Remember Kids Church Online, and we will see you next week.